Here's the worst depth and complexity worksheet that I used as a teacher. It's this grid of 9 icons. You've probably seen something like this. It's super common. Here are the 3 big problems. Number 1, there's just too many prompts. My students cannot go deep in 9 different directions. So they're going to feel overwhelmed and rush through, which of course is going to lead to shallow thinking. When I'm cooking, I never use all of my spices. I'd pick and choose the 2 or 3 that will work well together and, more importantly, will complement the actual meal I'm cooking. When I'm using depth and complexity, I want to think in the same way. Pick the perfect 2 or 3 prompts that will enhance the content I'm teaching and the specific question I'm asking. And that brings us to problem 2. There's no questions. The icons are just sitting there by themselves. If I don't make it clear how I want my students to think, they're going to default to the lowest level, which means they're going to list 3 big ideas, 3 details, 3 examples of language. This is not deep thinking. So I need to actually write out questions and not just plop an icon in a box. And finally, this worksheet has no connection to any content. Because it's trying to work with any topic, it ends up working with nothing. I can't ask a great question if I don't even know the topic I'm asking about. One-size-fits-all worksheets lead to shallow thinking. So how would I do it better? I would pick the perfect prompts for the particular task. If we're learning about Rosa Parks, well, I would pick ethics, rules, and multiple perspectives. To me, those 3 set the stage for a specific type of thinking I have in mind. If we're reading The Cat in the Hat, I'm immediately thinking about language and rules in Dr. Seuss's writings. If I'm teaching plate tectonics, my mind goes to change over time, and I have a lot of unanswered questions. Perhaps I'd want to focus on the rules that lead to this change over time. Now, you might pick totally different prompts, and that's fine, as long as you're picking them with a purpose. And always pair depth and complexity with a thinking skill. Never, ever, ever, ever let a depth and complexity icon just sit there by itself, or your students won't know what to do. And I'm not just going to ask, what were 3 ethical issues related to Rosa Parks? That's just going to be a list. I'm not going to stop with, what rules did Dr. Seuss use? Or how has the earth changed? Despite having depth and complexity, these are not deep questions, but they might be starting points to an interesting sequence. My second question in the sequence would move higher on Bloom's. Now we are comparing and contrasting rules, not just listing examples of rules. And then by the 4th part of the sequence, we're rewriting part of one person's poem using the other person's rules, and then wondering, does that improve the poem? At this point, we have gotten to some deep, complex thinking. Now contrast that with what we started with. Questions? Feel free to email me, ian@birdseed.com. And if you want access to hundreds of high-quality tasks like this, check out Birdseed TV.